Well, this was almost a first. One of the first TVs I almost refused to repair, but then I looked at it and thought, I can't send it to landfill. Don't think I've ever come across this model number before. When I first saw it, I thought it was an old LCD set, but it isn't. It's 2015, so 9 years old. So I've just plugged it in. It has got a standby light, so let's get that, see if that standby light goes out. And it blinks and fades away. Okay, so I can't see anything at all. Don't know if you can see an image, but I can't see anything. Hopefully it is just backlights on this. Yes, there it is, look. There's the LG twirly thing. Technical term. Well, that's twirling, so it looks like the screen's in good order. It's obviously backlight, so I don't know what I'm going to do with this, really. Botch it, I think. It almost looks like it's a display model, but it does have an aerial in. But it looks quite dated at the back. From the front, it looks like pretty much a modern LG set. Oh, excuse me, I'm trying to get the camera to focus. But from the back, it's got all sorts of different inputs and outputs. That was LG finding their way in 2015. Judging from the back of the chassis, it's got quite a modern 40. Is this a 42 or it's a 40? It's a 42. It's got quite a modern design to it. So these screens were used up until probably 4 or 5 years ago. I'll just show you that. It means absolutely nothing to me. I can't remember ever working on this model. And as I say, the main board is a bit weird. This is not going to be a smart TV, obviously. When I took a look at it, I suddenly thought, I don't think it's worth doing. I don't think it's worth spending any money on. But you know what I'm like. I hate just having things lying around. Sometimes they come in handy as spare monitors. So these are the backlights that I think it's going to take, and I've got loads left over. May have to do a bit of soldering, but we'll have a go. The weird thing is, the TV doesn't look that dated from the front side. The bezel and the screen is fine. It really is just the main board and the back of the TV, which makes it look 25 years old. As per usual, it's got all of its lenses fallen off, but seeing that, well, if I'm going to have to glue some on, I might as well glue them all on, so I'm just going to take them all off. Let's just investigate how many backlights are out here. Hopefully just a couple that we can sort out and get it back working again. It's not really worth spending any money on. It's not really worth spending any time on. Or maybe I'm wrong in saying this. This first one and the end one's not working. It's not looking good, is it? They are all working. Two missing out there. And another 2 there. Blimey now. If it was just going to be 1 or 2, it's fine, but we're looking at 6 or 7. All these strips, including that one, are working. These are fine. I mean, they're used, but they're fine. I've got to take all the clips and stuff out to do it. But I'm going to have to do it. Yeah. You know it's a sign of desperation when the little heat thing comes out. They used to call these LED rework stations. It's just a very tiny hot plate. So I've got enough second-hand strips to get the TV working, apart from 2. 2 of the strips have got 1 LED out on each. So I'm just taking out some bad LEDs and swapping them with some used LEDs. That's all. Just to get the TV working. As I say, it'll come in handy for a monitor or a spare TV that's going to be used once a month, something like that. It's just not worth me spending any time and money on sticking some backlights in. And I do have a set ready to go in if I wanted to, but there's a much newer TV I want to put them in. So this one, it's just going to be a bit of a hodgepodge. Anyway, it gives me a chance to get out my Shop Jimmy hot plate. These were all the rage 10 years. Well, you couldn't actually buy these in the UK. I don't know. I must have found one on eBay, I think. These were only sold in America. I believe, I could be wrong, but anyway, this is from the day when we were all repairing backlights this way. You'd do it individually. Because the price of a brand new set of backlights a decade ago was expensive. So you just use a bit of flux. You'd have a reel of brand new LEDs, and you would take the old one out and put the new one in, and it would be as simple as that. A little bit of solder, a little bit of flux, let it cool down, and then stick the lens back on, and Bob's your auntie. Sometimes. Now, they can look a bit messy, especially the ones that you had to solder in or use the hot plate to fix it in. But it doesn't really make any difference because I've got brand new lenses for these. So before I stick the brand new lenses on, with the brand new lenses on, they'll all look like new strips. But I just want to test that now the 7 or 8 that were faulty are no longer faulty. Can I get them? Yeah, they're coming up, look. All things bright and beautiful. That'll do. So brand new lenses going on. This is a bit of a pain. It's a bit of a fiddly bit. It's quite easy. There are grooves on each individual LED for them to fit into. But of course, there's quite a few to do, and then you have to let the glue dry because it's not super glue, and it's not 10-second glue. You really do have to give it a couple of hours to make sure that it's set correctly. But it gives me a chance to go and walk the dog. Now, of course, the one thing I have to state as I just put the finishing touches to this TV, that maybe you've got one of these TVs and that's why you're watching this video. And if you like the TV, if it's your pride and joy, and if it's got some sentimental value, then you must not, throw it away and upgrade it. If you're interested in doing it properly, all you have to do is buy a brand new set of backlights. I've just botched what I've got left in the workshop hanging around just to get it going on a Saturday afternoon to give me something to do. But a brand new strip of these backlights would probably cost you, a brand new set of the backlights, probably cost you 20 quid on eBay, 25, something like that maximum. Maybe a bit cheaper. If you can wait 2 or 3 weeks for delivery in China, you can get them from AliExpress, and they're about £7 or £8, something like that. So it's worth having a go. It's not difficult. The only thing you have to remember, two things you have to remember is give respect to 2 items of the TV. One is the screen. When you take it out and you put it back, be very gentle because it's very brittle. The other thing is be very respectful of the power supply. Because even though it may not be plugged in, it has capacitors and it can store high voltage. Don't go near it. Don't touch it. Just be careful. I don't know why I'm preaching it. I've been doing these videos for years. You know exactly what I mean. Now, because I've been using scrap second-hand backlights and I've been putting new LEDs in and then gluing in lenses, you have to be very careful and make sure the lenses all line up correctly. So I don't recommend you doing it that way. You should always do it the proper way, which I'll talk about in just a second. But here I can tell you that I've got no shadows. Nothing is bleeding through. It's all looking good, and it's good picture quality. So just putting the finishing touches, just putting little back extensions on here. If you don't know what these are just little back extensions if you're putting a wall bracket on, obviously to keep it flush with the rest of the back. Why they just didn't keep the back flush in the first place, I don't know. It's all down to the designers. Don't argue with the designers. Anyway, I'll screw it back together. It'll come in handy for something, someone, somehow, somewhere.